Hey, how's it going, guys? It's Tuesday at 7:03, well, 3, close enough, I guess. It's time for a Tuesday night live stream. And today, I'll be honest, working retail in the holidays kind of sucks because I don't get a chance to read as much as I want to. While I'm trying to host, 4 shows a week on the YouTubes, but nonetheless, basically what I'm trying to say is it's going to be more of just a haul video because I have not had a chance to read as much as I've wanted to, but nonetheless, I'll show you the books I've been picking up because, hey, I still, like I said, I don't know why I do the things I do and why I buy the books I do, but dang, we sure do buy the books here in the Seawater 19 household. So we'll at least go ahead and recap those, even though like they're not even bagged and boarded yet. But nonetheless, big shout out to Chris Barrett. What's going on, man? Thank you for joining the chat tonight. Didn't really advertise this stream that well, so I didn't anticipate too many people joining in. So thank you, Mr. Barrett, for hopping in the chat. So maybe while we wait for 1 or 2 more people to crawl in here, we'll go over some modern reads for the last month or so. So nothing too crazy. I finally found copies of Drawing Blood 3 and 4. So I really liked 1 and 2. This is the Kevin Eastman written book. So I got issue 3 there. And then issue number 4 with the radically rearranged Ronin ragdolls. So really enjoyed that one-off issue they had way back when. So look forward to reading those because I really enjoyed the other 2 issues. I think it's 4 issues total, so I found the other 2. This was definitely a cover buy for me. I'm at that same store. I found this like gorgeous Buffy the Vampire Slayer Hellmouth #1. Super, we'll get the glare there. There you go. There's that beautiful glare. So I guess this was like an unlocked foil variant. So thought that was a really nice cover. So foil Buffy covers will get me every time. These 2 I definitely still need to read as well. I got The Last God issue #1. Just thought it was weird they made a DC Black Label comic that is a normal size comic and doesn't have Batman, Harley Quinn, or the Joker on it. So that definitely intrigued me a little bit into getting this. So we'll see what that one is like for sure. At one point, I had to get this Basket Full of Heads variant cover. Beautiful, beautiful cover on that one. Definitely love that. So once again, putting that right back on the read pile. Here's one I actually did read. I got the Hellmouth Buffies. I got Hellmouth issue 2 and Buffy the Vampire Slayer issue #9. So I actually did enjoy issue #9. It seems like the trend is the Buffy and Angel stuff happens in the Hellmouth mini, and anything with their side characters. So for instance, in Buffy, you'll get your Giles, Xander, and Willow stuff in the Buffy title, and you get your Fred and Gunn stuff, and I guess Spike stuff in the Angel title. So in this one, you kind of follow the adventures of Willow, Giles, and Xander as Angel and Buffy. They're still trapped in the Hellmouth, and you're kind of finding out, Willow, she's not the nice little lady she used to be in the Buffy series because she has given up half her soul to save Xander, who is turned into a vampire by Drusilla. So as you can see there, they're having fun with raccoons and vampires and stuff. So yeah, she's a lot more impulsive and angry in this series. And meanwhile, Giles and Jenny Calendar, they're not getting along either. So you get to see their strife in this comic. So there's that. Hellmouth #2. Once again, it's just Buffy and Angel fighting their way out of the Hellmouth because they're in deep at this point. They're fighting psychic demons that's controlling Buffy's head. But definitely they're still fighting their way out of hell. Like that was my one beef with this issue. I feel like they didn't really achieve a lot in Hellmouth issue 2, which is supposed to be like their big centerpiece to the big event they got going on. And really, I could probably sum it up in about 10 seconds. Buffy and Angel fight through the Hellmouth, and that's they didn't even take me 10 seconds. So there you go. Hopefully it was $3.99. Yeah, it wasn't $5. Thank God. All right, so there was that. We got Young Justice #10. This has one of my biggest pet peeves in all of comics, where you have a breakout star, Naomi joins the team. Guess where she joins the team in this book? The last page. They kill me with this stuff. So there's your Naomi appearance right there. And they try to sell you the Naomi trade along with it too. So other than that, Naomi appears in none of the book. So really, guys, we can do better than that. Not that I don't really know much about Naomi. I haven't read that book, but at least they wrapped up the multiverse hopping storyline. I hope, because it was kind of getting old at this point in Young Justice. So at least I guess you get Tim Drake becoming just Drake now with a brown costume. So first costume appearance. Here you go, I think. So there you go. Young Justice 10. Another one I'm going to probably put on the read pile for after this video. Die number 9. I've heard really great things about issue 9. I wasn't a big fan of issues 6, 7, and 8. I hear 9 kind of changes that, so I'm looking forward to reading that. So I'll put that on my pile 3 comics so far. I got Fantastic Four 16. They're going through Point of Origin, and this is the third part of it. Basically, they've taken, they've rebuilt their original ship. They're going on the original mission they set out to do before they became the Fantastic Four. And you kind of get to see the fallout of, their original journey. And Ben Grimm, he's fighting sewer monsters, basically, and, rallying them toward, becoming good citizens of this planet. Meanwhile, Johnny Storm, he's hitting on all the ladies, of course. So nothing too crazy going on here, just a solid read overall. I still need to read me some X-Men number 1. I went and picked up X-Men number 2 because I didn't have a lot of copies of this left. So I figured if I'm going to get on the X-Men bandwagon or watch it sale, I at least need to get issue 2. So going on the read pile. Far Sector number 1. This book did nothing for me, I got to admit. I didn't know it was coming out until I saw it on Midtown's website last week. I'm just like, do we really need another new Green Lantern? We've already got introduced to one new Green Lantern this year, and Teen Lantern and Young Justice 10. So why this was necessary, I'm not sure. Maybe I'll reread it again at some point, when I'm not, don't have work on the brain. So, yeah, well, like I said, for now, this just wasn't for me. So we will see, if I revisit that character at all. Reread pile, Black Stars number 1. Haven't had a chance to read that yet, but I've really been digging the Grant Morrison Green Lantern stuff. My only fear about this one is Liam Sharp. I think this is just an excuse to give him a break as well. But I really dug his art in the Green Lantern run they just had, because he does really good aliens, in my opinion. Undiscovered Country issue 1. Like I said, I wasn't too sure what was going on. I was kind of on the phone while flipping through this, so I'll reread that one again. And then the last one is Dr. Doom issue 2. I thought it was kind of funny. The team that captures them at the beginning of the book consists of Agent Zero, Union Jack, Hervey, Silver Sable, Doctor Strange, and a couple others. So a random team, if there ever was one, right there. So, and his first quote when Dr. Doom comes in, he's just like, Richards didn't even want to show up to this. He's trying to save the moon from global warming, basically. So, fun read actually so far, and I really like Salvador Larroca's art. So, I might keep getting Dr. Doom. It's of all the reads, I guess this week. I guess I was a little sour on a lot of them, but I did legitimately enjoy Dr. Doom. All right, so before I get into my haul of the week, we'll get in, or the month, I guess. Trust me, this isn't just 1 week of comics, thank goodness. We'll get into the chat here. We got Mr. Gretzky9966. What's going on, man? How you doing tonight? Glad you could join the chat. We also got Just a Rican in his comics, so happy to see Rod in the chat. And he also states that the Harley and Joker Black Label was excellent. Read it today. Yeah, I do like the both the Harley ones I've read. I haven't had a chance to catch the Lemire, whatever that one's called. Like I said, I haven't bought it, so I can't remember the title of it, obviously. But those ones I do plan to get in hardcover or read digitally at some point. Just those the $8 price tags and those those aren't for me. Like if I can get them cheaper than that, like $4 or $5. Like if I do an in-stock trades order, I may get the other Harleys I missed out on so far. But I did read the issue 1s of each of the Harley books, and I enjoyed them. But yeah, for now, I'm going to wait either for a hardcover version or a cheaper version of the main cover. But I'm not paying $8 a pop or $7 or what have you. The next Black Label book I'm looking forward to, I think Chris just put it in the chat, is the Question book from Jeff Lemire, Dennis Cowan, and Bill Sienkiewicz. I will definitely at least check out issue 1 of that because it's been far too long since the Questions got any love at all. So I really can't wait to see what they do with the OG Question, with the Black Label, if you will. He says there are too many Green Lanterns on Earth. Was at least five. At least five. I don't even know at this point because you got the main four. Your main four guys. You got Hal, John Stewart, Guy Gardner, Kyle Rayner. Those are your main four. You got Jessica Cruz. You got Simon Bass. So that bumps it up to 6. And then I guess now this year they introduced Teen Lantern and then the Far Sector Green Lantern. So that's like 8. Even though the Far Sector one, she's not an Earth Lantern. That's got to be said too at least. But I'd rather them just focus on one good Green Lantern title, which at least they have a solid one in the Grant Morrison one. But I was waiting for that to come full circle before I call it a great run from him. We got Discovery Bay Comics. What's going on, man? We had a great show last night on Modern Men on the Comic Core channel, so definitely check that out on the rewind. We had Discovery Bay Comics, Drew Manchu, and Comic Man Andy as part of that panel, and Chad made a cameo at the very end of that show. So big thanks to Discovery Bay once again for helping make Modern Men a huge success, in my opinion, so far. At least it's been a lot of fun for me to do every week. So big shout out to Discovery Bay Comics. All right, you guys are just here for the haul, so we'll go ahead and start. I think it's all from Half Price Books except for one eBay purchase, which I'll show at the end. I don't know. I got one more like vintage comic book purchase I did at my local shop where I got to buy one, get one free. But 90% of the haul today will be of Half Price Books. And before I continue, I did want to do one shout out because he just hopped in that chat. We got a Poor Man's Comics. What's going on, man? How you doing, PMC? Hopefully we'll see him at C2E2 coming up in a few months. But definitely we'll get into this haul right now. So this consists of 2 half-price books. So I have the one I drive an hour to and see what they got. And then there's the one locally where I get all my ones for $1.20. So anything that's not $1 came from the one up north. So here we go. We got Aspen #1. Had to get, I got to get all the Mike Turner stuff for $1, $1.50. So this is $1.50. So you got to have the other side of that cover. So there's issue 2. So unfortunately I didn't have issue 3 because I think it keeps connecting onto issue number 3. But yeah, anytime I can get cheap Michael Turner stuff, I'm going to buy that every time. I keep finding this book, Bloodshot 7. I think it's for somebody doing something. You guys know how I go on this channel. I don't know. I keep finding Bloodshot for cheap. So I think I'm actually starting to put together a run of Bloodshot for like pennies on the dollar, basically. So this is my most expensive Bloodshot purchase of the month, obviously, at $1.50. But I know this is the first appearance of somebody. I don't know. Who knows? But anyway, Batman and Robin #9. Had to get me some, animated Batman style goodness here. We got Detective Comics 648. Paid $1.50 for that. First full appearance of Stephanie Brown, I believe. And thank you, Poor Man's. He says the Bloodshot is the first Ninjak in costume. So thank you for that. I knew somebody in this chat, once I saw Poor Man's names come out, I knew he'd save me on that one. So first Ninjak in costume. Going back to Michael Turner, we got Fathom 1/2. Once again, another beautiful cover. And it's actually not a woman for a change. So look at that. Okay, don't look at that camera. Thanks for the blur, buddy. I don't know what it's focusing on. Really? Okay, there we go. Hey, all right. Hey, we're live, pal. So you gotta love it. For $2, I was surprised this was this cheap and not in like that goofy lockup bin where you gotta like try to put your sausage fingers in and dig out and figure out what's in there. But we got Doctor Strange, Strange Tales 183. I think I actually have the Pence version of this. I won in a contest, but nonetheless, I actually got the American version now. So got a cool set there, I guess. I paid $3 for this one. I already had it, but it's signed, so I guess I got an unsigned copy if I wanted it now for any reason. But this is actually probably a better grade copy. I got Electra Assassin #1, some beautiful, beautiful Bill Sienkiewicz work done inside this book. So always a fan of this one. So every time I see it, I usually just end up picking it up. So I think this is a second copy for me. But yeah, definitely love that one. And I think my last purchase from that particular store was Infinite Crisis #3 for $3. So first, Jaime Reyes, I believe, is in this one, but I'm mainly just trying to get the Jim Lee covers on Infinite Crisis. When I originally read this, I'm a big fan of George Perez, as you guys know. But I'm glad I got this one because this is the one that's going to blow up if, because everything's option now, including Jaime Reyes. So I got this one for cheap, so I can get the Jim Lee set complete for. Hopefully, I can get the rest of them for $1, which I have about half of them at this point for $1 or less. But that one, I figure I just go ahead and splurge $3 for, because this and issue 6, I think. Actually, yeah, I got issue 6 already too, so I'm squared away there. All right, so the rest of this is $1. I think I got this in about 2 trips worth. So I got X-Men 279 for $1. Got some run filler here. So just trying to put together 94 through 300 of the Uncanny run still. So happy to get some Andy Kubert there on the cover. So love me some Kubert brothers on my X-Men. I know Comp Man Andy, if he watches this on the rewind, he'll love these books. We got Punisher War Journal, number 14. Cool Jim Lee art right there. And I had to get number 15 as well, since that was next to it in the bin. So, hey, $1 Jim Lee, I'll be there all day. I got Morbius, Living Vampire, issue 1. Just always thought that was a great cover. And I know, this one's simmering up a bit, and because of the incoming movie, too, which, I probably won't even go see. But nonetheless, I really like that cover. I bought JSA 67. Pretty cool read that goes along with Identity Crisis, which Chad of the Comic Corps and I reviewed a few months back. This kind of the one where Dr. Midnight finally figures out how Sue Dibney died. It wasn't by, getting burned alive. It was like some little person stepped on her brain the wrong way, basically. So if you want to figure out why you little people are walking on people's brains, read Identity Crisis or check out a review on the Comic Corps channel. Once again, we got more Michael Turner, and shout out to the Great Legend. I know he liked this one. We got Fantastic Four 548. So beautiful Mike Turner stuff there. But you can't have that without having 547, which I don't know why I'm showing them out of order. I apologize. And then we got 549 right there. So once again, more great Michael Turner. Hey, I forgot I had 546 in the pile too. So I remember I had a black and white version of this one. I think I sold off at the Hero Initiative auction last year. But there's the color version of it finally. So I think that looks really awesome with probably the Steigerwald. Yeah, Peter Steigerwald did the colors on that. So gotta love that guy. And the last $1 one, pure 90s gimmick action. I love me some 90s gimmicks. We got, I don't know what this book is called, The Avengers, The Crossing. Avengers, The Crossing. There we go. That's more like it. Cool Mike Deodato cover on that one. But man, look at that 90s chromium, baby. I love me some chromium. You guys know how I love me some chromium. So at this point, if I don't have it and it's $1, I'm probably just going to pick it up. So that's what I did here. And you get some cool Mike Deodato art, because I love me some Mike Deodato. Oh, and then one more thing I got from that Half Price Books at the other one. So, not so much of a secret, but if you guys like trades and hardcovers, Half Price Books will hook you up too. I didn't even know this thing existed. It's the Batman The Dark Knight Returns box set. So this collects, the original Dark Knight Returns run, and each of them are their own hardcover. So I ended up getting this for $25. I believe it has a $50 cover price on it. Yep, it's got a $50 cover. But the cool thing is, if you guys notice, like in that corner right above me there, I have my 4 Dark Knight Returns books on my wall. And for some reason, it's not on the DC streaming app. Come on, DC. It's one of those things like they can make money off of it. They're not going to put it on the app. Like Dark Knight 3, no one gives a crap about Dark Knight 3. I guess I have to be adults only now. No one gives a shit about no one gives a shit about Dark Knight 3. So that is on the DC streaming app. But what people do give a fuck about is Dark Knight Returns. So that's not on the app. So I decided to get this really nice hardcover version of Dark Knight Returns because it's cheaper than going and getting the actual books again. But each of them are their own hardcover. And these things have never been read. So, like, if you peel it open, you can actually hear the spine destroying itself because, hey, it's still a DC Comics printed hardcover. You got to crack that spine to read the thing. So there's issue number 1, and then you guys know these covers at this point. So as you can see there, boom, like look at that. And these are great. So at some point, I'm definitely want to reread this whole series. And hey, you got to make sure Kathy Kelly appears there. So you got to keep them all 4 in order like that. So we'll put that box away. But yeah, $25 for us, that was a really good deal. It was either this or I was going to buy Harrow County Volume 2 for $20, the big library edition, which I should have just bought both. But that day I was feeling kind of cheap, even though I bought all this stuff. But yeah, All right, so before we get into the last part of the haul here, let's get into the chat. Chris Barrett says, how many of your Dark Knight Returns do you have signed? Unfortunately, I don't have them signed. I've never met Frank Miller. The one Comic Con I went to, he was actually there. He was charging like 40 or 50 bucks and had a huge line. I wasn't having any of that. And I think he's only signing Dark Knight 3. So I'll probably be content with having unsigned copies unless I meet, I think Klaus Janson worked some of the stuff on there. Maybe I'll meet Klaus again one day. Poor Man says beat Chromium is our best. Chromium is the Age of Apocalypse. Oh yeah, absolutely agree. X-Men Alpha and Omega. I think those were the first Chromium covers I remember getting, and then there was that other one. I think it was X-Men Prime that had like that like orangish acetate type cover. So that was pretty cool too. And then there's really only one X-Men run worth the effort, and that's GSX to 300. Yeah, I do have GSX already. So I just need 9. Basically, the main ones I need left in that run. Besides, I mean, there's still like a lot of fillers I could probably get for $5 or less, especially in the 100s. But I do need 94 is the biggest one, and 101 is the second biggest one. Those will set me back if I decide to not get them in the wild and try to pursue them seriously. But I think I've got pretty much most of the other keys. I already got like Days of Futures Past like signed and all that good stuff, and pretty much like that 120 through 140 I've got locked down. I got the first Gambit earlier this year. That was the other key in the later 200s that I had to get, and then I pretty much got like all the easy stuff like first Jubilee, first Bishop, first Mr. Sinister. So really, I think if I get 94 and 101, the rest will be cake after that. All right. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody there. Oh, yeah. He says the old half-price books, Chinese finger trap. Absolutely. All right. So we got the last part of the half-price books haul. So this is about 2 or 3 trips worth. Usually I just go by once a week because that's about the frequency they put out their books. And the reason I got this whole big stack, everything in this stack was 20 cents. So everything here was 20 cents. So we'll let you guys be the judge of, I guess, if this stuff was worth 20 cents or not. So like I said, I was starting to put together a Bloodshot run because I trip over these things in these 20-cent boxes. So I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to put together a run and see how far I can get at this point. So obviously I started with issue 1. There's probably a 0 I don't have, but hey, 90s gimmick cover there on issue 1. And shout out to the back of the cover because you got some, LJN Marvel games there. So woohoo, LJN, I guess. And we got issue number 2, issue number 3. Like I said, I have no idea how many of these are key, non-key. I don't, like I said, I don't really collect them. I don't plan on reselling them anytime soon. If I do resell, I'll probably just like put like a 50 cents or $1 on them at that point. So there's issue number 5. They didn't have an issue 6, or I probably just haven't found it yet or missed it. And then once again, Ninjak full costume. Thank you, PMC. Got another copy of issue 7 for 20 cents after the fact that I bought that $1.51. Otherwise, I wouldn't have purchased that $1.51. And then issue number 8, I think, is the last one. So we got 7 of 8 of the first issues of Bloodshot, or maybe 7 of 9, depending on if there's probably an issue 0, knowing Valiant. One more shout out. We got Royal Rumble the game. Love these back covers. So memories right there. I always had those. I keep showing them. We got a T2 and Alien before that was a thing. Actually, it's probably while it was a thing. We got Blood Syndicate number 1. So I've been slowly getting these milestone first issues. So I think I got Icon earlier this year, and now I got Blood Syndicate. I think I got Hardware somewhere too. So I think the only one really I'm missing that I would actually kind of want is Static Shock, which that's usually the one that people want the most out of the milestone stuff. But I guess maybe we'll see if we'll find it or not. We got some Gen 13 issue 3, so I'm slowly putting together a second set of Gen 13. But yeah, absolutely love this series. Of course, Sideways. Who misses? Well, that sucks. Who misses Sideways 90s panels? Let's see what fell out of the Gen 13 comic, shall we? All right, so when you get 20-cent comics, you're going to be having pages falling out here. Looks like someone wanted to cash in their Gen 13 Zero Ash Can promotion, but never filled it out. But they thank you for cutting it out, previous owner. So, yeah, this book is officially worth all of 20 cents. So there's where the page is missing there. So, hey, just in time for the show some Gen 13. I know Whitewell, Alec loves him some Gen 13, so just showing off some 20 centers here. But yeah, page fell out of my Gen 13 issue 3. So, oh my God, I lost all my value. So we'll put that back, and it'll surprise me later. It'll be hilarious. I also got here, let me cue up the gimmick here. You can see how prepared I am for this thing today. So nonetheless, we got Gen 13 number 4. It's got a little bit of battle damage on the top, but hey, look at that. We got one of those newsstands. So there you go, newsstand of the day, Gen 13 number 4. And it's falling apart in my hand. 20 cents. 20 cents. You can't beat it. Shout out to Cat Run Figures. I think she bought this one at Baltimore, but she loves her some Jenna Jameson Shadowhunter, Greg Horton cover on that one. So Chris Barrett's probably in the chat. I'm sure he loves this one too. So there you go. Jenna Jameson Shadowhunter, Greg Horton cover, 20 cents. Probably, honestly, my best 20-cent purchase. I got this Witch's Giant Size Bad Egg Halloween Special. This just came out last year. It was an $8 price tag, and they sold it to me for 20 cents. So, yeah, if anyone's looking for a copy of this, because this was gifted to me last year by Pope Grimy, which big, huge shout out to Pope Grimy. Hopefully he's still out there somewhere. But this year I found another copy for 20 cents. So if anyone needs a copy, I guess, hit me up. We'll work something out. I'll give it to you for 20 cents. We got Salmon Twitch number 1. So there you go, 20 cents. Thought that was really cool. We're going back to Gen 13. I think this is my 3rd or 4th copy I found this year of Gen 13 1/2. Still didn't come with a certificate of authenticity from Wizard, though, so it's probably fake. Who knows? But nonetheless, I love this book. I remember my brother, when I was a kid, bought this book for like 20 or he had paid $20 or $40 for it. I still think it's funny to this day. But yeah, now I find them for 20 cents. So you can really see the difference between the 90s and now, and you can find the 90s for 20 cents a piece. And now I'm just reveling in it. I love that I can find these things. Here is Cyblade She number 1. So you get the first appearance of Witchblade, which, hey, look at that. There's Witchblade right there. So cool book to own. Actually got my childhood copy signed this year by Mark Silvestri, signed it in the bottom in orange, but figure for 20 cents, why not go ahead and grab another copy of that? Going back to Gen 13 again. Like I said, I'm slowly trying to put together another run of Gen 13, which I probably just need, I think, an issue 2, which I probably have another issue 2. So I probably do, with buying this one, have a second complete set. But yeah, nonetheless, there is issue 0 as well. Going back to Ninjak once again, we got some 90s chromium goodness. So Ninjak number 1. See, I was calling it number 0. I don't know why. But sweet wraparound chromium cover from Joe Quesada on that one. So when I rang this up, the cashier was like, that is awesome. Like, she rang it up for 20 cents. She's like, why did we sell that for 20 cents? I'm like, it's Valiant. It's all right. So, but nonetheless, I thought that was really cool. 90s goodness. Speaking of Joe Quesada and his pal Jimmy Palmiotti, we got Painkiller Jane number 1, another killer cover by Joe Quesada. That's a wraparound. That one's from Event Comics. We're going back to the newsstand. Well, we got Pit number 2, newsstand. So once you see these image newsstands, you got to pick them up, right? Especially if you're me and have the newsstand gimmick. Once again, Max number 3, newsstand. So there you go. I was hoping they had the issue number 1, but they did not. And I guess they put issue 4 on the back cover there, but thought that was really cool. And here's one I'm glad I found. We got the Savage Dragon issue 1 newsstand as well, except some jerk wrote $1.74 on it, probably in the 90s. But hey, nonetheless, I'll definitely take a Savage Dragon newsstand. And then they also had the 3rd issue in a newsstand as well. So I had to pick that up. So, and then this is the one. I always got to shout out Reggie Collects, or Reggie IFBB Pro, whatever name he's going by now. He let me know that this was the first published J. Scott Campbell art in an Image comic, I guess. So there you go. Savage Dragon by J. Scott Campbell. All right, we're going back to Gen 13 again. where we have the 3-part, because they broke issue 13 up into 3 issues. I remember getting these as a kid, and I was like, oh my God, now I got to go to the store and actually get all 3 before what if issue B sells out? So full 90s gimmick action here. You had 13 issue A. Part 2 is issue B with Bone. And then to complete the issue, you had to buy 13C. So they basically, and they charge you to $1.30 a piece for them. So there you go. Gen 13, issue 13. Gotta love it. They definitely emptied my pocket back in the day too. No, Chris Barrett. Unfortunately, there was no Spawn 1 newsstand. They like to, well, when they got Spawn 1s in, they just sold them at $2. I bought one of them. So I'm sure if they had a newsstand version, they would probably know what to do. I feel like at the half price books I shop at, they just want to sell everything for $1 or less. But I feel like if they get Turtles or Spawn or like a brand new like 3D cover book, they want to mark it up to like $2, $3, $4 or more minimum. And it is what it is. Like I said, they can mark a few things up as long as I can get everything else for 20 cents. And then we got Outcast number 25. This time, this one's the it was the Image tribute swipe homage cover month or whatever that was. So at the time they were doing the Kirkman books at 25 cents a piece. But this was a B cover for Outcast. It was based off of whatever Liefeld cover that was. I can't remember right now, but I thought that was a cool find because I think there's like a couple per store. So I thought that was a cool find for 20 cents. And the last one I got for 20 cents. You guys may remember a while back, I found the copies of the Damn #1 from Colin Bunn. They were all signed. I found like 6 damn copies of this thing. And I had an auction on the Comic Core channel. I just threw in all of them in an auction. So I guess I actually ended up giving away all of my copies, so I didn't keep any for myself. So I guess, good juju karma or something. I found another copy signed by Colin Bunn for 20 cents. So I guess this is copy number 7 I have found in the same bins, signed by Colin Bunn. So I think this one I'm going to keep for myself because I didn't actually keep any for myself last time. Thank you. What poor man to the rescue tonight. Brigade, that's what I was trying to think of. So Brigade, this is what that swiped or homaged. I guess homage, since they put Afterlife Filled nicely on the cover. So that is their tribute to Brigade #1. And Barrett says, me not keeping a signed book? Yeah, I was trying to share the love. But nonetheless, I'm losing everybody's attention. So we'll go ahead and just get through the rest of the haul real quick and call it a night. So I did go to my local shop, and they had a buy one, get one on Vintage Comic Day, which is usually Monday and Tuesdays. They just want to get people in the store outside of New Comic Book Day, basically, because usually once you get to days like today, everyone's just worried about putting out their new stuff. But my guy, he does like deals, and that's when he puts out his old stuff. He didn't have any old stuff to put out, so you'd had a buy one, get one free on his all of his stuff, basically. It wasn't brand new. So I wanted to get this Serenity set he had. It's issues 1 through 3, plus he threw in a free comic book day. But for $15, I mean, you guys know me. I like my 20-cent books. I don't like me $15 for 4 books. So I was like, I need to figure out a way to get this set for free, basically, or at least half off. So that's what I did. I went on that day, and I actually still had this set. But full disclosure, I guess, as everyone says now, this is the cover I wanted. I've been looking for this cover since the series came out. It was not available at any of my shops at the time, but I've always wanted this Josh Middleton River Tam cover, and you never see it. Like, you don't. It's not a wall book, obviously. It's not worth much. You don't see anyone put it on their walls. You don't find it in dollar bins. You don't find it anywhere except for maybe eBay. So when I saw this set and flipped it around, had that, I was like, I need to find a way to get this, but I don't want to pay $15 for it. And by the way, I guess full reference to the other covers that came with the issue ones, the Mal cover from Cassaday, and I believe issue 2 is the Zoe cover from Joe Quesada, which I actually have a signed copy from Joe Quesada already, but there is what issue 2 looks like that came with this. So I'm actually still trying to collect the rest of them now. But I think the only one I need, probably Jane. I don't think I have the Jane cover. I can't remember who did that one at this point, but I definitely wanted the Middleton cover. So this is the main reason I bought this set. But to get that free, I got this chunk of a set here. This collects Fantastic Four 570 through 588. It's the Jonathan Hickman run of Fantastic Four. And I didn't read this whole run, but I at least read this issue and the issue before where Johnny Storm gets trapped in the negative zone, basically. And this issue is absolutely amazing right here. So I've always kind of wanted to read this run. So I figured why not just go ahead and get these and this. So I got both sets for $15 together instead of paying $30. So I thought that was pretty solid deal. But I thought I got my River Tam Joshua Middleton cover. All right, so the title of the video says, I got another item off my 2019 want list. I can't remember if this is 2019 or 2018 want list. I believe it's 2019. So I got eBay haul. This is one of those. I think I got a pretty solid deal here. Sometimes I just go to eBay. I put in my search terms. I just hit refresh, newest listed. And sometimes if something like if a buyer that doesn't necessarily sell specifically comics put something up, I'm willing to roll the dice on it if the price is really low. And I felt like the price was pretty low on this. So as soon as I hit refresh and saw this, I was like, okay, I'm buying that now. I probably should have tried an offer, but I didn't want to risk anyone else getting this set. So I think I got it sorted from like nicest. There we go. I'll put one. There we go. I'll sort it from like books I least know about to the one I wanted, basically. All right. So I got this. I think it was $60 shipped for 8 books. So $60 shipped for 8 books. I got the Untold Legend of the Batman newsstand edition. Like I said, came out in the 80s. I think I already had a copy of this when I was a kid. So I thought that was kind of cool, a bonus to the slot. I love getting these DC Comics Presents. I started collecting these this year, so I might try to put together a lot of these, but I got an issue 36 there. Also got a Brave and Bold 182 newsstand. So there's that. I need to rebag those. Secrets of the Legions of Superheroes #1. So there's that. So those are the ones that I got in a lot. I was like, yeah, whatever, cool bonus. But these 4 I feel like were probably worth a lot here. So I got a halfway decent condition Captain Marvel 13. I think I already had a copy of this, but it looked like I ran over it with a car. So this is definitely a cover upgrade for me for Captain Marvel issue number 13. So that'll be definitely staying in the collection. We got X-Men 164, which I believe I needed for my X-Men run I was talking about previously. Newsstand edition. So once again, Captain Marvel or Miss Marvel becomes that one character for a minute. Basically a mutant, I guess. So yeah, kind of a key book earlier in this year when the Captain Marvel movie hit. So luckily that's died down, and now I can, Binary. Once again, poor man's called it. So she becomes Binary in this comic book. So there's the Binary issue. Really nice copy of Superman's girlfriend, Lois Lane, number 89. So I don't know if Mr. Gretzky's still in the chat, but I bet he would like this one. But I'm not necessarily a Lois Lane collector, but this is a nice, sharp copy of Lois Lane 89. Series print, I think I looked it up in 1969. So a very cool cover right there of Bruce Wayne marrying Lois Lane and Superman just standing at the altar looking super depressed and sad. So just a hilarious cover right there. May have to put this on the walls, making me laugh the more I look at it. But the main reason, as soon as I saw this book here and the side of the picture, I'm like, I'm buying this lot because I've been looking for this book, obviously, since the beginning of the year. There's that TV show that hit, bumped up the price a little bit. But I love these characters. I've wanted this book for a while. We got DC Comics Presents 26. First new / real Teen Titans, according to Chris Barrett there. So I previewed this book really quick on the End of Modern Men yesterday. But very happy to have the first new Teen Titans in the collection finally. So like I said, I got all that lot for $60 shipped. I guess the battle damage on this, a little bit of a jacked up staple there. A few spine ticks, but like I said, I thought the price was pretty good on it, and I don't have a copy at all. And about the same condition on this I saw a previous copy of this for $75 at an antique shop I typically go to. If you guys see me show like books from an antique shop, that's like my honey hole spot basically. That guy was charging $75 for this. So he doesn't usually charge a lot for, books, but he was charging a lot for this. So I knew when I saw I could get a whole lot of comics plus this for $60, I knew I had to have it. So another one off the checklist for this year. So no, TJ, I did not have the book, man. I've been needing this one for a while. So I wish I would have had it in, March when I met George Perez and, George Starlin. Jim Starlin was going to Indiana, but unfortunately I did not have the book in hand. But I just now got a copy of this book this week, so I'm thrilled. I guess a horror story since I got TJ in here. He'll appreciate this. So when I got this book and the others, instead of, I was excited because they shipped it priority. I'm like, cool, it'll get put on my doorstep, and I won't have to worry about, getting damaged in the mail. It's only going to be 2 days. I get the notification at work, your package has been delivered. I'm like, okay, cool, to be there when I get home. So I look at the details on the shipping. It says, dropped off at your mailbox. Like, okay, there's probably a little slip in there. I go to the post office and, give them the slip, and they'll give me the comics back. Guess what they do? They take all 8 of the comics, they angle them like this, and they jam them in the freaking mail slot. So these were in the mail slot, jammed in there. So I was just like, you got to be kidding me. So war against the post office continues. So luckily, I think the damage was minimal to non-existent on the books. Luckily, the shipper, they packed it in one of the bubble mailer ones, and they only put them in bags and boards. But oh yeah, so not the greatest shipping, but hey, it didn't. Luckily it wasn't like the one. I think I got an AOK from Comic Spectre. Big shout out to Comic Spectre. That guy's awesome. But when I got an AOK from him, they did the same thing, except he ships great. So he put his in like a Gemini mailer, but somehow they got a Gemini mailer in my mailbox. I don't know how. I had to like flag down the mail truck, tell them to open up the back of it, and the lady couldn't even get it out. It's like, so I had to get in there and I had to cram it out the back without trying to tear up the Gemini mailer. Luckily, kind of not luckily, I guess, they weren't shipped in a Gemini mailer with, this book. So I was able just to kind of pull them out with a little bit of bend and force. But yeah, a little bit of horror story there, considering it's one of your want list books, and they jam it in your small mailbox, which is also filled with tons of other spam mail. So yeah, Chris Barrett says, I've seen worse shipping. Yeah, me too. One time I got a book. It was shipped in a manila envelope, no bag and board. It was put in the mailbox, same mailbox. So, and then big huge shout once again to Poor Man's Coffee. Says, you have a new Teen Titans #1. Yeah, big shout out to him. He AOK'd me that book last year, and I ended up getting that double signed at C2E2 this year. Now he wants it back. So I was very happy to receive that new Teen Titans #1. For some reason, those Titan books, they've always just eluded me, and I've had to work for every Titans book I got, with the exception of the one that Poor Man's gave me. So he also says he had an ASM 14 shipped to him in a file folder. Yeah. I'm trying to think of the book I did get in that folder, basically. I can't remember at this point. It's on the channel on the Rewind somewhere, and it's in the archive, so we'll leave it at that. But big thanks to everyone who joined me tonight. This was kind of like off the cuff. I was just so tired from work. Instead of actually preparing a good show, I ended up just falling asleep all day. So I apologize for what became just like a 45-minute haul video. Instead of me, I guess when you host like 3 or 4 shows a week, you run out of things to talk about. But nonetheless, you'll find me on the Comic Core all week this week. Thursday, we're doing Outside the Issues. I think we're planning on watching a movie again like we did Night of the Living Dead. We're thinking about, I don't know what movie we're going to do. I know at one point we're going to watch Santa Claus Fights the Martians, or whatever that movie's called. I think we're thinking about that for Christmas, though. So I'm not sure what we're going to do for Thanksgiving, but Halloween was a lot of fun for that, so we want to redo that again. It will be Friday, a show. You guys know the drill on that. The original Comic Core show will be back there. And then Monday, Modern Men. So we'll be talking about, I think we're going to do top 5 90s artists this week, and then we're going to be reading Craven's Last Hunt. So big congratulations to Chris Barrett. His pick won the pick this week, and it was a good pick, too, so I cannot wait for that. But, guys, I got to run. It's been a lot of fun talking to you guys. Thank you so much for showing up, and you have a wonderful night.